Hi friends, welcome. If you're new here, my name is Kayla and it is time to talk August TBR. I can't believe we're already the end of July. I feel like this whole month just flew by. I feel like summer is flying by, which I'm not ready for summer to be over, but I am ready for school to go back, just to get back on, normal rhythm. My son is dreading school starting back in a few weeks. But I'm also ready for football, but I'm not ready to lose hot weather. Not that it's gonna cool down too much once we start hitting fall, but summer is always my favorite. Enough on that. So I do have some advanced reader copy, like digital ARCs that were sent to me that I want to talk about, that I'm going to be reading because they do release in August, and I haven't read them yet. I do have a new release. It actually releases on the 5th that I cannot wait to get my hands on, that I'll be reading in the month of August. And then we've got TBR picks. So there's going to be 4 things we're pulling out of here that I'll have to find, and we'll talk about those as well. So the first one that we're going to get into is High Season by Katie Bishop. This does release August 12th. This is a thriller. We're going to be in 2 different timelines, both in the summertime, 20 years apart. So in the past, 17-year-old is going to be found face down in her family's pool. Her little sister, who is 6 years old, will have witnessed her babysitter push her older sister into the pool and hold her under water. So she is going to be testifying, or she does testify at the trial at 6 years old. 20 years later, a true crime documentary is going to do a documentary on the case. So as she's gotten older, 20 years has passed, she is starting to question her memory. So did she actually see what she thinks she saw? Is her memory accurate? And the thing that I found the most interesting when I was reading through the premise of this is that she did testify at the trial at 6 years old, which I don't want to say a 6-year-old could be an unreliable witness, because I'm not a lawyer and I do not work in the legal field. I just feel like a 6-year-old could be manipulated by parents, other siblings, because she is going to have another sibling, one that was murdered, has a twin brother, and there is a big age gap because they are 17, she's 6, so it's 11 years. She could have been manipulated by him. Even just attorneys, they could swayed the way she answers questions and how she remembers stuff, because also the legal system it's a long process. So I think that's going to be a good time. Can't wait to get to it. Next one is going to be Forget Me Not by Stacey Willingham. This is one of my most anticipated reads for this month. She's written some great thrillers. This is going to be another dual timeline, actually very similar, where it's about 20 years apart. But in this case, the girl that we're following, her sister disappears in the past timeline right after her 18th birthday, and then a few years later, blood is found in her car, someone gets arrested, and in this book, the trial is going to be very quick and he just gets convicted and sent to jail. So now fast forward the 20 years, she is working as a investigative reporter, and she's going to get a phone call from her dad telling her, you need to come home. It didn't say in here why, so I don't know if he's just sick or if something's been discovered, but he calls her home. Sounds like from the premise she hasn't been home in a while, or at least doesn't get home much since she left. So she ends up, just to have something to do while she goes home, she gets a job at, I believe, a farm. And while she's working there, she's going to find this diary by one of the farm owners. And as she's reading it, which is going to start off as a teenage rebellion, teenage love, it's a diary. So, but then she's gonna discover that there are details to unsolved crimes. So then she's gonna start thinking back on her sister's disappearance and whether or not this writer of this diary is tied to her disappearance and stuff like that. So that also sounds great. Cannot wait to get that one. I have on audio, so I should be able to get through that pretty quick, but I can't wait. And then the last advanced reader copy I've got is The Book of Lost Hours. This is a fantasy meets science fiction. I have I guess a trend this month in August where we're getting 2 different timelines, but this one we are also going to have a few different points of views, it sounds like, or at least 2. So we're going to have this girl in the 1930s who gets trapped in what's called the time space. So it's basically a library that can only be accessed by a clock or like a watch that's passed down from father to son. Her dad is going to be one, I guess, the keepers of a watch. So she ends up in this time space, which is a library full of books of where people have logged like history and different events. So think of like scribes from like the Fourth Wing series where the scribes go to everything and they log everything. So that's what this library is. And she ends up, I don't know, I'm assuming she's going to sneak in there. I have no idea. Since she's not a son, she isn't supposed to be the one getting the watch. But anyways, she gets trapped. And while she's there, the different government people or agencies start coming in to the time space and destroying books because they want to get rid of things from history that they maybe don't agree with, or they don't want the future to know about. So they want to be able to control the narrative of what happened in the past. And then the second timeline is, I believe it's the 1960s, where this girl, she is mourning the like disappearance of her uncle, and a CIA agent is going to approach her to help them find this book of memories that her uncle was looking for. I'm assuming he disappeared while he was on that hunt for that book. So, and then she's going to enter the time space for the first time, and that's where she's going to discover that history as she knows it isn't necessarily true, or has been modified and tampered with, and things have happened that the world doesn't know. So definitely very interesting premise. So I hope it's a good time. The new release that I'm excited for this month in August, it releases August 5th, is The Pieces You Kept. Yeah. The Pieces You Kept by Katie Miller. This is a country rock star second chance romance. So we're going to get 2 points of views. I'm assuming we're going to jump from the past to the present day. As they were together when they were younger, something's going to happen. He ends up becoming this big country singer. Her mother ends up revealing something on her deathbed to where she finally like reaches out to him, or ends up, I think she shows up at his concert like backstage, like, and finally confronts him for the first time in like 15 years. So yeah, I'm very excited. I love her work. I've talked about her a handful of times already, probably in every video so far. But so hopefully I can actually get my hands on that one this weekend, because I believe she's going to be in town for an event, and I already know she's got the special like edition sprayed edges and stuff. So hopefully she brings them, and I'm sure she's watching, so hint hint, Katie. So that's everything from like a planned on my schedule reading. So now the fun part, this is always my favorite part of the end of each month or the beginning of the next month, is to pull out of here. So these aren't, if you're new, these aren't color coded by like genre. They are color coded just so I know I need to grab one of each, because they do have like a meaning. So one color is the Goodread winners from last year. I picked 12 just based on genres and what the winner was, because I think there was only 14 genres. I know they fluctuate every year. So I picked the 12 that I was most likely gonna at least enjoy. And then one of these are just, or 2 of these colors are just physical books that I've have, whether that I bought them for a while or that they were sent to me by publishers, PR, last year, or the books that I bought over a year ago. The ones sent to me I got last year at least in 2024, some might even be 2023. They've been sitting on here way too long, and I just need to get to them. So I just went through and started picking. So I think I even just grabbed them at random and then wrote them down in here. There was no thought, no reading of blurbs or any premises or anything when I made this decision. And then the last color is things that I've purchased on my e-reader over the years that I just haven't read. So, you know, those still are part of my TBR. It's just in a digital capacity. And I don't ever prioritize those. Like, I tend to more come to my shelves and grab a book. So that was a new category that I added in here this year, was the ebooks. So without further ado, let's go Goodread winners. I will state right now before I even pull it, if I do, because I still haven't read this, and actually I now have my hands on it because I think the last time I talked about it I didn't even own it yet. If I pull this, it's going back in here because I still need to read book 2. They literally came in the mail today. Both of them. I ordered them from Pango just because I'm kind of in the mood for a fantasy, and I think I'm actually gonna, so this might be also on my TBR for this month, or at least probably started this month. It might just be towards the end of the month. But I think I'm gonna vlog my reading this, because I haven't read the other two. I have read this, but it's like 2.5 years ago, so there's not a whole lot about this I remember. So that will be an upcoming vlog, but probably not this month. But yeah, so if I pull, what is it? Flame and Shadow, it's going back in here, and we can maybe make that next month's. So, Goodreads. I had a feeling this was going to be it. It is. Funny Story. It's backwards probably for you, but it's Funny Story by Emily Henry. It's funny as I went to the library to return some books when I got off work today, and I was like, I wonder if they have it available. They didn't have it in my location, but I can reserve it on hold and go pick it up this weekend. But yeah, it's in here twice because it also she won the audio book and the romance category. So I had a feeling there's only 5 in here left. So I had a feeling that I was going to finally get that one. But I don't own it because I haven't loved all of the books by her, and I think I've owned them all at this point, but this one and her new release this year, so I might as well just get it. All right, so the next one is Green, which is The Turn of the Key. So this is a book I own, so this came from my physical TBR. Let's see if I can find it. Ruth Ware. So it's a thriller. I don't know a whole lot about it, but she did write one of my favorite thriller books, so I am excited. I've only read 2 of her books. The Woman in Cabin 10 is one of my top thriller books. I read that back in 2016 when it came out. I think I got it from Book of the Month back then, and absolutely loved it. And then I think 3 or 4 years ago I read The Lying Game, and that one I didn't love as much, but I know this is a lot of people's favorite Ruth Ware book. Let's see. And we'll go yellow. This one is, oh no, not in bad. It's a big one. So Sons of Darkness. So that's one that was sent to me very kindly by Bloomsbury. But it's this guy here. This is a fantasy. I don't know what this is about at all. And then last one, so we got blue. Let's see here. So we got Strawberry Fields for Never. So this is a romance indie author, Kate Watson. Her stuff is super cute. She is a closed door romance author, but something I love about her is her writing is just so good, and she still can create that tension and that chemistry between her 2 main characters where you don't actually miss the spice. Sometimes without it, you'll feel like characters don't have any kind of chemistry, especially if they're not even there's not even an on page first kiss. Because I've read my share of closed door, and some just I'm way more choosy about those, because sometimes it's just, I don't know, But she is great. This is part of this is book 1 it's a standalone series that I read her second book, which was a football romance, but it's best friends. I believe there's 4 or 5 of them. I can't remember. But they've all started this like marketing, PR kind of business, and the main girl, I don't even know her name, is gonna go to this farm and try to help him. I think he like inherits it either from like an uncle or grandfather or something, but he's not, I don't think he's gonna know a whole lot about like running a farm, and I think it's also one of those farms where it's not just like you grow the crop and you sell it to like big box stores or anything like that. It's more like small business where people come to you, like local people come to you for your like produce or area or whatever it is that you're selling and growing. He hires her to like help with like the marketing and PR and kind of turn the business around. And I know it's enemies to lovers because they are gonna, while he hires her, I think he's also gonna fight her along the way with like changes and stuff that she wants to do. And of course she's gonna find that he's stubborn and just set in his ways or not wanting to change anything. So then it's almost like, why'd you hire me kind of thing. So they're usually pretty quick reads. They're usually in the 300 mark. So it should be a good time. I'm very excited. So that is everything that I plan on reading in the month of August. Like I said, I may also start this one, but now I'm not sure I want to fully commit it to now that I've pulled this chunky boy. But I'll definitely keep you guys posted on that, and I'll definitely like vlog my reading experience. So I may start it towards the end of the month, and you'll see that probably in September. But yeah, that's everything. I hope you have a great day, evening, weekend, wherever you are. I hope you consider subscribing and stick around, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye, friends.